Drinking buddies, I brought Marco on to talk about tequila and possibly some tequilas that we can recommend for bourbon drinkers.
I'm your drinking buddy.
So here we have quite a lineup of a bunch of tequilas. Some brought by you, a couple that I have here at home, and then a couple samples that were given. And we're just going to talk about some tequilas that we think that you, as bourbon drinkers, might really enjoy.
Yeah, these every time at the bar, I ask people, "What's your favorite drink?" Some people will tell me tequila, some people will tell me bourbon, and then I'm like, "I bet you I can get you to like tequila if you're a bourbon drinker." So we play that game. I win most often than not. It's fun.
Yeah, I say we kind of dive right in. Anything
Cool.
you want to start with specifically?
Kind of want to start off younger. So when it comes to tequila for bourbon drinkers, mainly it's going to be an añejo.
Yep.
Sometimes it's going to be an extra añejo. If they like a silver, I'll be extremely shocked.
Yeah, as a bourbon drinker, as a whiskey fan, I don't generally like silvers or reposados at all.
Things might change here soon because of the fact, you might have to like White Lightning. There's been a couple new tequilas out there that are reaching 100 proof and up.
Yeah, I did kind of like that Chamucos that was 101 proof.
110 proof.
The one I tried was 101, I thought.
No, that you're talking about the arete.
Okay.
There was an arete blanco that was arete 101. Yeah, they call that one arete fuerte.
Okay.
But they have Chamucos, the one that you did try this one too. There's 110 proof, and it's called the Diablo Blanco.
That was pretty tasty. Well, where do you want to start here?
Let's see here. Start off with the tradicional.
All right. So this guy is specifically says on here that is aged in New American oak and then finished in Irish single malt whiskey barrels.
Mm-hmm.
So bourbon barrels and then Irish barrels, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
We have a lot up here, so I'm pouring very light.
We don't need to drink a lot. This is not our normal time frame of doing things.
Yeah.
Cheers, bud.
Immediately I get buttercream frosting.
Yeah. I was hoping you said it, but there's one other thing that I'm wanting to see if you say it.
I mean, vanilla and something kind of...
Vanilla and what?
vanilla and something kind of like salty and briny.
That would be the Irish barrel.
Yeah?
I get the Irish barrels right off the bat too on this. Like it's a little citrusy.
It's a really sweet note.
But wait till you try it. I want to see if you pick off the one thing that I was like, holy crap. This reminded me of a bourbon finished in this type of barrel. Or type of finish, I should say.
That buttercream thing really carries through on the palate.
I see that.
It's got a pretty decent finish too for being 80 proof. That's, I think, one thing that you bourbon drinkers are going to struggle with is most tequila is 80 proof. So you're going to have to get past that. That's just something you're going to have to get past. And if it's not something you can get past, you can search for things like this that are at a higher proof.
You got to find stuff that's going to be older. That way the barrel has more influence on there than just a regular 12-year-old. So an añejo means that it's 12 years old. An extra añejo is going to mean that it's going to be about 2 years old or more.
12 months old, correct?
Did I say 12 years old?
Yeah.
My fault. Yes, 12 months old. So did you get maple syrup at all?
I mean, now that you're saying that, yes. Now that
Right?
you're saying that, yes.
So this almost reminds me of the the Knob Creek maple.
The smoked maple?
Uh-huh. That's what this reminds me of. Just a little bit lighter.
I could see that. Well, that's definitely one that I think you could recommend to somebody who likes bourbon, for sure.
Yeah. And then, especially if they like the sweeter stuff, something that's going to be more onto like a type of certain finish. The next one I'd like to do is probably this one.
Yeah. And you know, Herradura is a really good brand.
It's a big name.
And well respected, and one that's readily available, easy to find.
Easily available, ready to find. They actually have the cleanest distillery in all of Mexico. No joke. That's actually what they advertise and what they're known for. The cool thing about this one is that they actually do Brown Forman barrels, but they actually are they're working together. So Brown-Forman provides these barrels to them as a virgin American white oak barrels. These don't touch any bourbon at all, ever. So they make the barrels, do the char that they do for anything that's Old Forester, Jack Daniels, or Woodford. Then they send those barrels out to the Herradura distillery. No bourbon touched. So it actually, to me, whenever I taste a tequila that's a virgin American white oak, it's a big difference. And you can kind of see in the clarity. So with tequila, 1% additives is allowed, maximum, whatever the additive may be. Color is one of them.
Yeah, which your Scotch fans will know that's also allowed in Scotch as well, but it's not allowed in bourbon.
No, bourbon, nothing's allowed.
I smell mint on here.
Touch of mint. So this is a Highland tequila.
Yeah, mint and...
So with Scotch, tequila has the same type of verbiage. You got your Highland, you got your Lowland. Lowland being more earthy, more like mineral tone, and then the Highland being sweeter, agave, much brighter flavors.
This is very sweet, and this is very agave forward for me. I really pick up that a lot more agave flavor on this one than on the Cuervo.
So the flavor on that one to me is almost buttery as well, because it has almost like this type of smooth
mouthfeel. Yeah, I could totally see that.
And you taste the oak too.
Yeah, this one's oakier than the last one.
But can you taste the oak difference? Well, we haven't gotten there yet. We'll get to that.
But yeah, if you are a bourbon fan, I think you'd like this one. Maybe this one might even cross over too. If you're more of a rye guy, you might like this one because of that mint note that I picked up off the nose. And then a little bit of more of that like spicy oak note, I think, came off of this one. So that one might be a decent one for ryes.
That's actually a great review for that. There's another one that's actually Virgin American white oak barrels.
Okay.
No bourbon has touched this before we continue going on.
Okay. Oh, okay. This one's like earthy.
Caramel on the nose.
I don't get caramel. I get more like a...
I get some like burnt caramel.
It's funny that you specifically specified that this is virgin oak, because I would have literally said this smells like bourbon.
Yeah.
this to me...
So that's one of the things that I really appreciated about Don Pilar. The next one we got by Don Pilar, we don't have to really necessarily do it side by side if you don't want to, but this is this is not a Virgin American white oak. This is French oak finish. So...
Same sort of thing with a French oak finish.
Yeah.
So if you like some of those like Maker's Mark, wood finishing series, those types of things, you might really enjoy that.
Yeah, but the other batches I've had from them actually was not French oak finish. It actually had a lot more bourbon characteristic than this one did, and it was more bourbony than any of the other tequilas I've ever tasted, and it was more oaky. I think that's why, because it's an extra añejo.
That one doesn't have as much going on as the Herradura. It's still good, but it doesn't have as much flavor. There's not as much oak coming through. There's not as much agave coming through. I mean,
it almost falls flat, but
it does a little bit. It's not bad. I'm not saying that.
No. So like if
you want something to go down smooth, if you want something to go down like easy, this might be something you introduce to somebody who's maybe not that experienced.
Yeah, I start off with that one sometimes, and then they'll gravitate to saying, actually, I like that.
I've definitely had experiences with people where they're like, oh my gosh, if you had this, you can't even taste it. And that might be what you're into when you're first getting into whiskey and tequila. I'm not saying it's tasteless. I'm not saying that.
No, it's just if you had to say anything about it in comparison to bourbon, you probably might want to say this is Buffalo Trace, has a lot more going on there. And then you might want to say, this is almost like maybe Jim Beam or maybe Evan Williams, something like that.
Where should we go to next?
We got those. Let's stick with the regular añejos.
Let's try that pick.
Well, I first want to try the regular.
Regular Dobel. So Maestro Dobel, I've highlighted this on the channel before. This one I definitely think is a tequila that bourbon sippers would enjoy. Now this one, to me, is more like mesquite on the nose. It's more like...
Yeah, you definitely taste the roasted agave. I mean, smell the roasted agave.
This one's more like desert vibes. This is more like...
Almost has like sage.
I could totally see that.
I've never smelled that before. You smell the fruitfulness in it too, though.
That is a quality tequila. Smokier than most. Almost got like a mesquite, like almost like a Texas bourbon quality for me on this guy.
I see why you're saying that. Yeah, this is actually my go-to tequila. Like, it's always available. It's always on the shelf. I gotta like reach for it. If I felt like drinking something, I don't know what it is, and it has to be tequila, it's gonna be this. Like, I'm always gonna reach for a Dobel. Sometimes people ask me, what's a very inexpensive tequila that I could get that's gonna be great and phenomenal for the price? And I'm like, $55, you can't go wrong with this one. It's amazing.
Yeah, a very, very solid bottle for sure.
Which is why we did a pick of it.
So you guys did a pick of this in, let's see,
we
March.
did it in May.
Okay. Good
Well, we ordered it in May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
That's when it was dumped into the bottles. Was March 14th. We didn't get them till May.
So yeah, pretty cool. You guys did a pick of these, and
That's our second barrel pick with Dobel. They have a Diamante, which is a Cristalino. And
yeah, that's an interesting category as well. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The Cristalina, they take a añejo and then clarify it.
well, it depends. So they took a reposado.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then,
something aged.
Yeah. And then they charcoal filtered it to remove the color. But during that process, it actually creates a different mouthfeel, different flavor. Actually, it makes it a little bit creamy. So the Dobel was actually the first brand to ever do this. And now it's a trend for tequila. Cristalinos
Yeah, I've definitely
is like
seen the
blown up.
1800 Cristalino. It's probably the biggest one. You see that one pretty in grocery stores. So.
Yeah, so 1800 actually owns this brand. So it's all under the same category.
So let's see how much better your pick is.
And this one, I believe, was American White Oak barrels. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's
this
what
was
it
a while
says.
ago. Yeah, American White Oak barrels. So this is ex-bourbon barrel.
Yeah, well, and it's got a more bourbony nose. It's way less on the mesquite and way more of like bourbon vanilla and like caramel to me.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's everything. This is just intensified. The flavors pop more.
I still get that mesquite note. I still get like a lot of like oak and desert qualities, but this one I feel like might be a little bit more like mellow and maybe a little bit brighter with a little bit of the citrus.
Yep. Very easy drinking. It's very approachable. Makes you want to reach for more.
For sure.
I mean, I love both of them.
For sure. Well, let's see. Where should we go to next? Moving over to the extra añejos?
That's all that's left, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
going to